Okay, so I saw this on Pedro V, his channel, and I got the link from there, but I'm going to provide y'all with what you need. So this is an hour and 18 minutes long, but this, as you can see, was done 2 years ago. It goes into detail about a virus that has been orchestrated in a lab and has been released on the population. It talks about the vaccine. It talks about social distancing. It talks about all the key factors. And I highly suggest watching this because a lot of people, they know what they can, what they could do and all of that, but at the same time you don't know which way they're going to go with it. And this right here provides us with a lot of detail. And I know that a lot of people don't like it when I do my videos this way instead of sideways, but I'm doing this so you can see that it was 2 years ago, and basically it's basically what you have to type in to get to it. I want to play just a little bit of it. Now remember, this is like Event 201. This is like the scenario plannings, except this is a pandemic exercise that came out 2 years ago, and they act like this is really happening, but it's not. It's basically like a play, like I said, scenario. So I'm going to play a little bit of it and let you see what's going on, and I highly suggest people go and watch this, and hopefully it'll open a lot of your eyes.
President has now asked us to think about how we will use the Cladex vaccine when it comes online. We don't yet know when we will have a vaccine, but there's lots of work ongoing in multiple companies, governments, small and large. We need to think about what we're going to do with the vaccine when it becomes available. So we're going to get to that discussion in a moment. But before we do, we want to start with a short GNN clip which updates you a bit on what we know about ABD and the source of the virus.
This news just in. At least some of the individuals responsible for the Cladex virus are now under arrest. They are members of A Brighter Dawn, or ABD, the group that had claimed responsibility. However, authorities believe that key members of ABD's leadership may still be at large. In addition, Interpol has announced that after a long and exhaustive investigation, the laboratory in Switzerland where the virus was created has been raided and shut down. It was masquerading as a small biotech firm in an industrial park outside Zurich. The group was traced to the location through interviews with scientists who work in related fields. Some of them told law enforcement that they had long suspected that ABD's scientists might be dangerous, but they didn't know what to do about it or where to report their suspicions. Sources say the captured ABD members are telling police there were a total of 6 successful releases of aerosolized Clade X in public places in Bethesda, Frankfurt, Caracas, Hong Kong, Dubai, and Kabul. After extensive interviews with the captured ABD members, however, authorities now believe there were an additional 4 releases of Clade X, which did not result in sustained transmission of the disease, including one near the campus of the CDC in Atlanta. Authorities also say the release of Clade X in Bethesda, Maryland was a deliberate attempt by ABD to cripple the NIH and thwart attempts to quickly find and develop an effective vaccine or treatment for the deadly virus. Meanwhile, the situation is increasingly bleak. GNN medical reporter Emily Schmidt is in Atlanta, outside the CDC's headquarters. Emily, what can you tell us?
Gene, the outbreak is accelerating. More than 40 countries are reporting outbreaks, and many more are suspected of having cases. Global figures of cases are unreliable, but probably number in excess of 8 million. That's according to the World Health Organization. Deaths attributed to the disease are in the millions as well. WHO and national public health authorities are struggling to find more effective ways to contain the virus. WHO states their own modeling projects more than 20 million cases within 6 to 12 months, with more than 7 million deaths. The under-resourced countries are hit the hardest, but wealthier countries cannot stop the epidemic either. Affected cities around the world are seeing their healthcare systems collapse as they cannot provide care for the infected or for routine patients.
Here is the current U.S. situation.
The majority of Claydex cases have been reported in and around the nation's capital and in western Massachusetts, but we now have reported cases across approximately half of the U.S. states and in Puerto Rico, including sizable outbreaks in 38 metropolitan areas. We have gone from approximately 50 cases 3 months ago at the last meeting to nearly 60,000 cases now, including more than 3,500 deaths. The Metro D.C. area alone has 25,000 cases, including 2 members of Congress, several White House officials, and 1 Supreme Court justice. Global markets have plummeted. The Dow Jones is down 60% from its high 5 months ago, and the Fed is now projecting a deep economic recession. Many domestic hospitals are failing due to lack of staff and supplies. Telework and social distancing measures are being encouraged by the CDC. Schools across the country are closed, and many public gatherings have been canceled. Public demand for surgical masks and respirators far exceed the available supply.
2 years ago, exactly what we're going through now.
National Guard units in multiple states have been deployed to provide security for pharmacies and hospitals. Some states are now considering the feasibility of canceling in-person voting in the upcoming 2018 election.
Like I'm saying, everyone needs to watch this. It goes way more into depth. Pedro V, he puts in a couple-minute clip that really goes into how the president is in critical condition in intensive care, how the Speaker of the House is now pretty much the president. I mean, this gets really good.